So welcome everyone. My name is Ayalita Lito. I'm a Feng Shui master here in Bay Area, even though with the opportunities that we have through Zoom and internet, we can have a chance to connect worldwide. So this today's presentation is going to be related to the Yin Water Rabbit Year. The first part of the introduction has been already posted last month during the Feng Shui Connect, and you are free to visit my website, going to the archives and follow the Feng Shui Connect to listen the overall introduction to the year. So there may be a few things are going to be repeat itself, but otherwise, let's dive into this beautiful way of looking at the year and what is available to all of us. I'm going to share my screen. Please write down your questions. I will be opening the gosh, okay, slideshow is right here. There we go. And welcome to the year of the Yin Water Rabbit. So I know in the Bay Area it's quite unusually cold, and we have experienced abundance of the water. But nevertheless, what is the year holds for us this particular season? The lunar year begins in January 22nd, but every solar cycle begins on February 4th. So when we are doing the Feng Shui, or when we're doing the calculations of your Gua numbers or your directionality or your best direction numbers, we use the solar cycle. So that's why when we calculate, sometimes those who are born between January and February not necessarily are in the year that is maybe as stated. So the Yin Water Rabbit Year, and there's also your cheat sheet for lucky days for March, April, and May. I added some advanced information, so this presentation will be available to you right after right after I'm done. Okay, what the year rabbit is. Today we're going to be discuss general introduction. I will discuss what is the yin and yang, 5 elements and 12 animal signs, and Feng Shui. How is the transition between the young water tiger and yin water rabbit year is taking place. Our capacity opportunities based on your Chinese astrology signs, and then maybe there will be a lucky winner. If there will be questions, maybe I can demonstrate how does the chart reading takes place, especially on a yearly basis. One reminder, every year, those who practice with me, those who are the clients, I give the guidance for upcoming year and what areas to be mindful. The east area and northwest area of your property or your house or your business is going to be very vital to be very mindful, basically have more organized, not clutter. If your main door is facing west, then one of the outdoor cures could be the dog, and I'll explain you why. The salt cures, those who practice on a yearly basis, should be placed in the east and northwest. If you are practicing money envelopes, that could be placed in where the flying star 8 is situated, it's in the south. So north and south is abundant, very, very, very good energetically for any signs, and especially if your Gua is based on the East group 1, 3, 4, or 9. That's very, very auspicious this year. And of course, the Feng Shui questions, you can always reach out to me. Happy to give you some personalized advice on that. The money envelopes we always set up in a trigram Li configuration, and of course the abundance, how much you're putting in, is up to you, and there's some suggestions for that. Speaking, when we talk about the Feng Shui, when we talk about the Chinese astrology, and we always have to talk about Feng Shui is just the 1/3 when we make adjustment in your overall well-being. And in any consultation, we look at the person. We look at the person based on its opportunities, based on their date and time of birth. Then we also look at the property, and then we look at also timeliness. So that's why there is we call the principle of Gan Yin, heaven, earth, and human Qi, that there's a continuous interrelatedness, and correlative thinking is being used to make the more personal and best adjustments at any space. Like this particular year, the Kwa number is directed to is in the middle, is 4, is group person. And let's say if somebody's Gua is also 4, then you can see how the energy is distributed. Like north is the abundance, south is the health, southeast is manifestation, northeast. This is just the examples of it. When was the last time when we had the yin water rabbit year? That was 1903, 1963, and this year is 2023. Usually in a 60-year cycle, we say a person is born during those years, they finally become human. Because then the idea is that you have experienced every single combination that exists between the yin and yang, 5 elements and 12 animals. So the capacity for you to overcome, tolerate, find the relationship becomes very natural. And as it's almost like a testing cycle of 60 is over, your natural adaptation to the next 60 years becomes easy. Other rabbit years, as you can see, we experiencing every 12 years around, we experience a year of rabbit with a different element influence. So this particular year we're talking about is the yin water rabbit. Every day we live through the rabbit hour. So if the rabbit hour is favorable, then every time between 5 and 7 a.m., we experiencing the chi of the rabbit energy. This time frame is really, really auspicious, specifically this year. And this is a great time for awakening and doing your morning practice, doing meditation, doing the Tai Chi, basically an awakened state, especially dream practice, journaling, writing down your dreams is very, very insightful. Soul of graciousness, kindness, peace, symbol of longevity, diplomatic, compassionate, meditative, intuitive, tuned to the vibrations of their environment. All this is available to us this year during the year of a rabbit. Of course, there's some signs that might be more reluctant and maybe not digesting all these qualities, but it's again, this is by choice. It's almost like a tapping into the air. It's like when we are inhaling, breathing, we are in the universal aspect, and the quality of this, that what describes the yin water chi. This is my teacher, Lu Ming. He passed in 2015. The system, when I do apply the Chinese astrology or Ziwei Doshu astrology, it's an old system of Taoist that I learned from. That's why I kind of want to honor, because this year, when we talk about the yin water rabbit, is also how do we honor our lineage and our ancestry. One of the greatest philosophers, very influential, one of the main influencers in China, Confucius, also was born in the year of a rabbit. So there's also a link that I have added to your presentation that you can download or purchase and download from my teacher Lu Ming. And then when he talks about the yin metal rabbit year 12 years ago, profoundly great information to overall learning. What is the image? How many times have we looked up into the full moon. How many times we have looked and correlating, and when I would ask, what do you see? What image do you see when you look at the moon? In Chinese philosophy, when they look at the moon, the full moon, they see the rabbit that actually creates immortal elixir in honor, and that's the very old Japanese drawing, but interpretation. When next time, maybe when you look at the full moon, hopefully you can recognize the kind of the side shadow of the rabbit. They also say the rabbit lives on the moon, and there's a great story about the image and how it's been chosen for that reason. Moon energy, it's deeply reflective. When we make adjustments, for example, on the properties, and sometimes when we're acquiring and want to have a reflective water, more powerful it becomes when we have a moon reflecting, like moonlight reflecting into the water. That becomes obsolete yin energy. That just thinking on the terms, if the sun is yang energy, then the moon is the yin energy. When you take the qualities of reflective light into the deep night water, so you're getting the yin of the yin. So inviting you this particular year, since this year energy is really strongly available to us, journaling is number one. Having the journal to maybe have two sides of the journal. One side that would be for purging, for writing it out your maybe somewhere stuffed emotions, especially after meditations, or the dream practice, like looking for guidance, connecting to your senses, everything that is allowed. It's almost like the vibration of the yin qi is allowing us to be also more open-hearted, more emotional about it. The other side of the journal I also would highly recommend is to use for your positive, maybe affirmations, or more you're in a dream state, your manifestations, what are you seeking for, and maybe in a subconscious, like activating that. I'm gonna have a little sorry about that. Something got distracted because incoming. Okay. Qualities of the rabbit by nature. When we have that when we are charged or depleted, there's two states of being. In general, if somebody embodies either born in a year of a rabbit, or being born in an hour of the rabbit, or day, or the month, it might have expression of when it's charged, gentle, quiet, peace-loving, intuitive, intelligent, aesthetic, domestic, social, diverse, dependent, supportive, loving, and authoritative. When rabbit energy is depleted, it could be gossipy, snobby, superficial, paranoid, greedy, scattered, promiscuous, opportunistic, deceptive, conservative, stubborn, and lazy. Speaking of the rabbit chi quality, we always look how they are definitely born intuitives, in the same category as tigers and snake animal. The rabbit quality is also, they have ability to look like seven steps before. They think in advance, because as you know, in a nature, there might be quite a few predators that would love to have rabbits for lunch. So they would have to kind of be very discreet and very mindful about, in any situation, have at least 2 or 3 exits. They will always have an opportunity to choose, how to get, like, basically have a freedom to disappear, or in the sense of the decision making, they would come with approach having the plan A and plan B. Having at least 2 or 3 choices that are either way are beneficial. It gives them more confidence for the rabbit energy to interact. So this particular year, no matter what you plan, no matter what, maybe there's a harder, if you are in a situation to make a decision, let's say maybe you're applying, maybe you are negotiating contract, maybe have the ultimate 2 choices that you might have. Okay, if it's a plan A, you will accept. If the plan B, you will accept as well, but have a clear nuances of those conditions. This year is also about us collectively reaching out and connecting to your loved ones. Very, very important to go back to reassuring your relationships, the friendships, due through the purging and figuring out what is your deep connection? Can you trust? One of the weaknesses that typically the rabbits would have is the paranoia. Can I trust? What if? What if? What if? So when we have in a continuous state of questioning, what if, it's very depleting. So to having the more conscious feel like, well, I'm solid, I'm protected. That's why the rabbits do like to create their own boundaries, like strong boundaries. Let's say if it's a home, they always want to feel safe. They way to hide, the way to disappear, or sometimes also not really be expressive in their emotions, like, how do they feel? That is all rabbit Chi. The rabbit Chi allows that for them to be kind of safe and secure. They are extremely good diplomats. If you need to negotiate anything this year, use the rabbit energy. If you do by any chance have a rooster in your chart, which is in diametrics with the rabbit energy, this will be one of the recommendations, that you're trying to be not as not as kind of I don't mean the connected, but feeling that you have to only follow through because of the data, because of something is written. You need to sometimes go by through, like, this is how I feel. What is my sense of feeling in one way or the other? Very important is the intuitive state, your gut feeling. That is the primarily guidance. When we have to make a decision, what do? We initiate the thought, initiate the wish, initiate maybe night before, but the decision making, we leave it towards the morning, like a first thing, fresh thing. That will be for them. For the rabbit, for the year, during the year of a rabbit, that would be one of my recommendations. If your signs are pig, ox, or goat, that's already naturally is in a very good standing. So does the partnering with the snake. So if you have a characters as a snake, that is also very, very good this year, energetically speaking. It complements your chart, and you can easily integrate that energy this year. Maybe go to the next. And so native element of the rabbit is the wood. That's the hidden element. That's a pure hidden element of the wood Chi. And wood element, typically, this is like while looking at 12 animals around the circle. So you see the 12 animals rotated around, and each of them is signed with the hexagram, with the direction, with the specific organ, the color, you name it. There's a whole kind of resonates to it. But before, I know there's quite a few new people who are listening to this particular recording, I would like to share a quick story. And in many ways, people think that the only year is the way to correlate yourself. Well, to identify that how different we are, I'm going to give you the quick story from my teacher that he taught us and always reminded us in a kind of fun way. Let's imagine that the rooster, it was Rooster's idea to create a new universe. And of course, Rooster was the one very analytical and very practical and very outspoken that would say, da, 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 let's build a new universe. And he would call all the animals in around and would invite to do so. The dog is right after the rooster, and the dog qualities like very loyal, very, always there, happy to have a company, always accommodating, and kind of they're good for the sport. And he was definitely, yes, yes, rooster, I'm ready to create the new universe. Just bring it on. Where should we go? Lead the way, right? The pig gets invited to the creating the universe, and the pig is asking, well, I'm all in. I love the idea. And ready to work hard as well as the play hard. So for the pig energy, there's definitely epic qualities of alchemy. And by the way, if you would like to, this is very important, saying that this year, or actually in any time, but specifically when the the alchemy without meditation is just science. The alchemy without meditation is just science. So during the meditation, we connect our physical body, our energy body, and our spirit body. That is the complete sense how we meditate during the year of a rabbit. This is how we should be, like becoming all pure alchemists. Okay. And pig is one of the signs I call definitely epic for its alchemy, being an alchemist, bringing anything that is maybe not as tasty as that into the sweet, joyous state of being. After the pig, the next sign is rat. The rat is very practical, very analytical. And when it hears about the creating the new universe, it would say, stop, stop, stop. We need to clear the space from all those 100 crumbles of the previous universe. And we need just create the new one. But we need to reset. So the rat capacity is always companionship, bringing the team together, being unspoken, but definitely have a clean slate when we start doing something new. This is how the rat hour correlates also to the day hours. That's when the old day, like the 11 p.m. and 1 a.m., that's how we experience rat hour every single day. We're closing the day and opening the new day during the rat hour. After the rat is ox. When ox hears that, excuse me, there is a new universe. I want to make sure that the universe is going to be built exactly the same way like the previous 100 ones. Guess what? The ox energy or ox chi is something related to ancestry, something to consistency and stability, something that we relate as a rule and order. And there's no way back or no way forward. This is very important for it. I think if we wouldn't have boundaries, if we wouldn't have laws and regulations, that's what the countries would be have a hard time. So anything that is set by rules is kind of has an ox quality to it. The tiger is next. Tiger gets excited. Tiger gets excited about creating the universes. Is I am all in, leaping forwards with full power, and then it's like, oh, never mind. So it says, but no, I'm all in. Yes, let's go, because all those stripes gets the decision making. It gets very fast forward or kind of backwards, fast forward or backwards. So tiger energy is we abundantly experienced tiger chi last year. If you remember, it was one of the biggest kind of in a 12-year cycle, one of the most profound years to really identify yourself with the spiritual, with lineage, like what side of the spirituality you're cultivating, where do you belong, what speaks to you, what do you practice. And as you know, that the tiger, like it's sign of the king of a jungle, it also relates to the calligraphy. That typically we're looking at the lines of tiger imprint, and it's in a third eye area where most profound tigers would have the king, the two yin lines and a straight line through as recognition. It's the king of the jungle. After the tiger, as we see, is the rabbit. The rabbit chi that I described, it's always is going, it's like, I'm all in as long as the only 12 of us are part of this endeavor. So very important. The rabbits are about security, relationship, being safe and secure based on alliances, based on your kind of team effort, but who can I trust? This year particular, we're going to be purging and like realizing who can I have like a sleepover, who can I invite in my cave, being as a rabbit, how safe and secure I going to be. Can I invite the wolf? Can I invite the fox? Will I still last till the next morning? So this is where you're going to be visiting your own family list, your friends, your coworkers, your acquaintances, and you're going to be identifying yourself. Where are you wasting your time? Where are you actually lacking the creating the deeper connection and relationships? Very important this year is your feeling safe, secure, who you trust, who can you effortlessly and without hesitation call at 3 a.m. for help. Who would you do? So if you can just give me the list, if you can have a handful of people that you know that A, B, and C, and D, just in case I can rely on that. That gives the absolute rabbit chi the comfort. So after the rabbit energy, there's a dragon. And the dragon would come, like rabbit would say, well, I know who can ask for help. And there's a dragon. Dragon never really appears to build the universe. Why is that? Dragon is related in cosmology also as an emperor. And it seems like the project to create a new universe is not big enough for the dragons. And that's what the snake goes behind. It's like, I told you so. So this is the wise and very, very someone with the extra vision as a snake would look through and absorb, like, I told you so. Dragon has more important things to do. And the snake would be very reflective. This year, the rabbit snake chi are very compatible because that's snake can be itself. Snake does not have to be pretending, because the intuition, either rabbit intuition or snake intuition is beyond just the surface. Snake intuition goes deep, like a wisdom, always holds the wisdom. The after snake is also remembering that snake by nature, no eyelids, right? Open eyes, like through the day, through the night, no hands, no arms, no extremities, all body connected to earth. So the vibrations of the earth are the intuition combines with the vibration of the earth. So that's the no need to hide. This year, rabbit chi, snake, goat, this is the, profoundly can be free to kind of project, do things, cultivate the energy, and be more upfront as a leaders. So after snake energy, there's a horse. And a horse is very practical. It always holds the tangible results. In a response to create the universe, horse would say, well, I'm ready. I got my truck. I got my time off. I'm ready to go where I need to be. So the productive element to bringing the results, cultivating is definitely, it's just a kind of, it's a DNA of the horse. As you know, in nature, it's very hard. The horses are like earth dragons, we call. They are unstoppable. They are never would they would they'll definitely would commit to more than 5 or 10 projects at the same time. The sometimes completion of that might be lacking. But nevertheless, the energy of the horse is definitely brings a dynamic. So horse and rabbit chi, especially towards the end of the summer, end of the spring, summer, May, might be very compatible to the elements of the accomplishment. So if you have been right now, maybe metaphysically speaking, kind of laying it out, your agenda, what to do. This is just a time. This is the beginning of the spring. This is the time when we are actually selecting things, what we want to do. How do we want to create the implementation of the seed to ground, to plant the seed now and then grow it, like almost like cultivate your seed just to start seeing it, what it brings towards the end of April and May. So there's a pattern of like, if you have a horse energy, don't burn it. Don't snap I said the sprout is just kind of rooting itself into the earth, like becoming more yin. So slowing down, horses slowing down at this very moment is very, very favorable. This is a time when you also can actually maybe entertain more, maybe connect to your groups in a small and do things for others. Gift giving in general this year, like as a rabbit chi, is very profound. Noticing what you gift giving in a sense, like when you can giving the gift and then you relate and remember how you connected. This is also gives you an opportunity to kind of accelerate or deepening your connection to anyone how you connect through the gift. So horses as practical, maybe this part of a few next maybe 6 weeks, try to maybe slow down because it's been a very, very very busy last year because you were in the front runners with the tiger, dog, and horse last year. So this is very appropriate to take a little kind of break, little kind of lunch break, and just feel how do you feel? How does the environment around you feel? So becoming more energetically intuitive to the rabbit and using the rabbit chi, okay? So goat is right after, and goat about is, if rabbit was more about safety, security in the physical environment, then the goats always are about aesthetics. So it's not only has to look, feel good, like and be safe, but it also has to be the ambiance, the looking good, the aesthetics, the music, the art, the colors, the texture. Goats do pay attention up many times when I see my clients and they coming in, and I kind of recognize the goats always notice, oh, this looks beautiful, or this is like, they have the sense of admiring something that stands out as aesthetically pleasing. Goats by nature are also peacemakers. That's where the rabbit chi and the goat chi are in a trinity, as also with the pig. This year is to be a good communicator, mediator, no matter what. So after goats, there are monkeys. So I'm one of them, but based on a year, and I know Amrit is based on an hour. So a monkey do. We've been definitely last year for monkeys, because we are in diametrics with the tiger. Not necessarily it was a bad year. I would say typically the Chinese would say, well, if you are in a diametrics, it's not a good. For me personally, and also that was in the stars on opportunities for monkeys last year, was as long as we were faster than tigers, and maybe more like above the ground, not running around on the earth, but like being in a canopy of the jungle, not be caught by tiger, then the energetical value we were able to achieve quite a bit. It was about transformation in a very speedy way, like very fast moving. And of course, this year, and that it also invites us to live like, okay, we've been running race. It's good to go in. It's good to reflect. It's good time to maybe kind of externally absorb what has been achieved and reflect in journaling, like reflect what we have experienced. The monkey chi is about continuously adapting. One of the best signs for adaptation are the monkeys. After that is the rats. But monkeys are very creative. They are very easily adapt to the new environment, and they, good with languages, good under the kind of very heavy pressure. The monkeys always find an exit. I used to say, if the ship is if ship is sinking, ask the monkey the exit. They always find a very quick solutions. And there we go. We go back to the rooster, and this is we're pulling the cycle. And if the rooster will come again and says, "Hey, I'm ready to build a new universe," and this is how the quality of energy, it just goes over and over and over in a cyclical form. As a reminder, there's the elements, the dog, ox, dragon, and goat or sheep. The inner element is earth. So the transition month or transition when we move from, let's say, from fire to metal, from metal to water chi, we always come to the center. We always come, let's say, it's in Chinese medicine, it's in Chinese, it's also in Feng Shui, it's also in astrology. So there's always correlated way to adapt in these transformations through elements. And there's a small scale how to relate to the hours. When we look at the cycle of elements, there's creative cycles, there's destructive cycle, and there's also a cycle when we go backwards, when we adjust by not kind of putting fire out with the water, but we kind of sometimes we eliminate water by suppressing with earth. So that was in the previous presentation. You can learn more. What I would like to stand out, that wood element, that's inner element of the rabbit chi, and it is about core adaptation by renewal, freshness, simplicity. So I'm inviting, there is a chi. This energy is available to you through the year. So simplify, refresh, renew, and eliminate whatever doesn't serve you. The outside, the external element is the water, the yin water element. When we talk about the yin water, what would come in mind? We're not talking about the ocean. We're not talking about the big waves and storms. When we're talking about looking up in the sky, we're talking about the clouds. We're talking about the rain. That's yin. Yin is reflective, like a reflective, like moonlight in a lake. That is a yin water. Okay, so and this is one of the first years, I would say, in a cycle, at least in the last 12, there's such a beautiful compatibility between the wood chi, yin wood chi, and the water, yin water. So what we could create a beautiful abundance of the opportunities if you're resetting, starting from the seed. We are right in between. So if we're transitioning out of the year of a tiger, and so the year of a rabbit is almost like energetically, philosophically prepares us for being more profoundly active in the next year, 2024, which is a year of a dragon. So great example of when we talk about the yin water, when we talk about the wood chi, I want to think about the seed. Think about you planting the seed, you're rooting, you're sprouting. And this is the season. We quite have not yet planted the seeds that are sprouting. We're not really seeing the results, but don't push. We have to be very realistic about our expectations. What are we expecting this particular moment? That's what we have is the sprouting of the new beginnings. If you go back to the Winter Olympics opening scene of 2022 Winter Olympics, I highly recommend go back to that video opening scene, because that's definitely shows all 24 chi notes that goes through in the Taoism. That's what we learn about, and the first chi note is the seed, the wood element. How are we doing? So there's more about like so Ziva Doshu. This is the practice that that we relating to, and commonly those who have consulted with me, these are the very common charts that you might see. I always focus at the beginning. What we're talking today is your natal capacity in this red circle. That's based on your year, the months, an hour, and day. So if somebody would have born on March 1st of this year, would have been born on a yin water rabbit year, month of the wood rabbit, the hour of the dog, and day of the horse. So your year and a month correlates to how the outside world perceives you, or how you allowed yourself to be perceived. Okay, and it's the hour and the day is more your internal, your inner personality, your inner qualities. The day master becomes a key factor on your decision making in your daily activities. This is what's basically allows be more profoundly specific in the Feng Shui when I do consultations, that every house is different based on who is occupying the place. That's based on the human chi. That is the priority, because what energy you're settling, what intention to set is based on your capacity. And deep on that, you those who have charts, you also have element score. And on the bottom, that's the Feng Shui element score that we also look how to balance. We always bring and seek the balance. One thing for sure, every animal sign does benefit from earth energy, always. Okay, so no matter either it's a 2, 4, 6, everybody love to have the groundiness in that level. Okay, so there's never, earth is never enough in my opinion. Okay, so briefly about the signs, and we're going to be closer to the questions and answers. So the trinity this year for the rabbit is the rabbit with the goat, rabbit, and pig, and that is the affinity triangle. And the secret friend of the rabbit is a dog. So if somebody has a main door in Feng Shui in the West, or has a character, the rooster in their chart, how to kind of avoid the conflict with rabbit chi would be having a dog talisman, or having a very best friend in that sign, or maybe have a very loyal friend, long time, that would definitely also will be a kind of good omen of this year. So as I mentioned, I'm going to go very quickly through this. So for the rats, overall, it's a good year. It's great for finance because rats are, always calculate their risk. They have a intuition as well as their capacity calculating things and analyze things, and they are collectively like the team. They are team players. So those all qualities will be resonating well with the rabbit energy. For the oxes this year, I would say briefly, I would say focus on the goal, not the obstacle. Okay, if the obstacles are there, go with the intuition. You don't have to kind of go physically through. Maybe take the sidewalk and maybe go back and think of like, why do I have a resistance? Maybe it's not timely. have the intuitive, have like kind of the six really, because for oxes, they're very, I wouldn't say stubborn, but they have the thick skin, and they could plow the fields and can be very persistent, very consistent. And something that maybe creates paranoia to the rabbit, the ox maybe not even being sensitive to it. So this year, it's this quality of the rabbit. She just adds a beautiful, like soft edge to the oxes. I had a few clients who may be also opening up more, becoming more emotional, expressing their love and affection. They might actually do leave the flowers and the gifts for their loved ones. It's just a beautiful way to softening the kind of conservative ox's energy this year. So, but to make sure that the obstacles, you don't get like stubborn, try to kind of feel it, why I have an obstacle to it. Tigers, based on the, I said, this image, I love this image because this is inviting everybody to be self-reflective, especially the tigers. This is something that if you have taking a path on any spirituality, this is about cultivating and going deeper, going wider, going into experimentally, testing your things. Do not stop. If you have started something, do not stop your practice. So quality of the tiger chi is profound because of if you are in a, you could, gives like a spiritual leadership and optimal leadership this year. The rabbit already, we talked quite a bit, so peace loving, intuitive. So this is a great year to actually, reconnect. It's good also for creating the relationships, intimate relationship. There might be the year a lot of babies coming up because the fertility of the rabbits, that's also very welcoming. If you're planning a child, it's a great year to do so. The dragons, we talked about dragons. Main thing is dragons are always have the more vast vision, like universal vision, more controlling. They don't pay attention to kind of the small things, the small details. As long as they're leaders that will benefit humanity or benefit the community, that then becomes a great year for dragons as well. So be mindful, use your charisma and ambition, go out and about, but make sure we serve the community. The dragon's energy is going to be more profound in 2024. This is a great year to kind of bring the outline, have a sensation, who is my team, where's my land, when to begin. That could be great initiation for it's almost like when we do the beta testing. So this is a beta testing year and really coming alive next year, if that makes sense for dragons. Snakes, I said, like they perfectly fine being invisible and still like overseeing everything. So their actions they don't have to hide. They just can be observant, transparent, and then act. So the wise philosophers and practicing meditation, cultivating, that's also is one of the benefits this year. The horse is be mindful of the body, and the body fine is the physical body because of the maybe exhausting, running too much, maybe doing too much last year. This is the great year to almost like reevaluate, go for the physical testing and getting your health back where you want to be, preparing for the next year. The goat stands out, aesthetic, easygoing, artistic. So qualities with the rabbit chi, especially in the industry of industries like this interior design, the clothing, all the artistic aspect, musicians, when we decorate the places, it's all the chi quality of the goat. It's very, very good this year. So we might notice that in general in the market, we might see a lot of people going to be renovating and beautifying their places. Um, and especially if you have a goat character, this is a great year to do so. Monkeys. So monkeys, I would say, since they have been running away from the tiger last year and running as fast as they could, use the quality of communication. Communication without eliminating stagnation. What I mean by that, sometimes the rabbits will be too conservative or stand off of expressing this. So monkeys find a way to communicate something that maybe is not only practical but also metaphysical, like spiritual. So communication in writing, communication, speaking, social media. Social media could be an amazing platform for monkey chi this year. So you might see me more often as well, maybe because of that reason. It just resonates well with the energy of the rabbit. So for the monkeys being seen, but not, being seen. And if any of the monkey characters have decided to maybe write a book, then this would be the year, or outlining the book. This is a great year to do so. And I think Ambrit is great at doing its articles into the Polo magazine. So just keep doing your job, because this is a fantastic time for you not to think about too much of the details of the rooster energy as a day master, but expressing and laying it out. Just keep doing it. Roosters, we talked about that as long as the roosters don't have a last word to say it, allow the community to respond. This is almost the perfect time when the rooster does not have a last word to say, and just like would say, zip it. It's all good. Something that you might want to embody, the feeling. How do you feel, rather what you know, based on. So eliminate, don't think about the data so much. Think about, how do you feel when you're communicating certain things. So if it's nothing good to say, don't say it. It's almost be mindful what you're energetically expressing. I just had another presentation, and there was an interesting question, and somebody asked, what about the global warming? And like expecting there's some kind of data, and I bet that was like almost like a rooster question. What do you think this global So the rabbit answer would be, if we eliminate anger, that means we absorb, and we're not expressing the chi of the fire, the heat. We're eliminating heat. So when you adjust your own conduct in your home environment, what happens? You're creating the environment more soothing, more balanced, more not as tempered. Okay, so for the roosters, especially this year, of welcoming to compassion, feeling compassion, it will be productive and great adjustment. So dogs, keep going. Your way to create relationships, friendships, and be supportive to the rabbits is extremely important, and is very favorable to community. You might see in a global political, that there you might notice some alliance is going to be building up and creating their collaborating forces. It could be, knowing the political situation that we have with Russia, Ukraine, and what are their friends. It does depend on relations that you create, and those might be also not as seen on the surface because of the energy of the rabbit. Please be mindful to suppressing the heat by May. Be mindful, and we can start with your own family structure, with our own communities, that we don't especially we don't criticize. This is something also, if you have a rooster chi in your chart, I'm just reminding, no criticizing. It's almost like equal, like being negative. There's no need to cultivate that energy this year. Okay. And the happy go pig, honest, tolerant, plain speaking, funny, compromising. So bunnies or rabbits love the quality of the pig. So because the pig inner element is the relates to water chi, so it's another compatible, a good year for the pig to abundantly do what they're, they meant, what you have intended, what I describe as energetically is available to you. Again, meditative state, meditation for all the animals, but especially how you transform is profound this year. When you dream and you write down your dreams and you have a pig character, those gonna be, you can directly impact your daily life, the way you interpret your dream practice. So there we are. I'm ready for your questions, answers, and opening up. And this is my contact information. I do take the consultations for natal chart readings via Zoom or in person. So I also, that's everything is on my website, aelitalito.com, but feel free to text me or contact me via phone or visit on my website. So there I am, there I go. I stop sharing and opening the kind of our audience to any questions, comments, in any parts, if I may, if I can. So there we have it. Like my teacher says, there we have it. Awfully quiet.
I have a question, Aelita.
Sure.
I was just wondering, I'm kind of curious how you decipher the lucky days.
Okay, so the same way like when we looked at the Feng Shui calendar, okay, like every month, every year, every hour, and every kind of day has its own chart. Okay. And then you look what is the year of energy. And obviously any day this year that relates to the pig, to, let's say, if they're going to be a day of the pig or the day of the goat or day of the snake or day of the rabbit, those going to be automatically kind of very juicy, good days for act, right? But then you can also look at the certain cycle of months. So in a Feng Shui calendar, there's a compatibility and optimizing. So we can be in a broader way. We can look, hey, if you are born in a year of a rabbit and you are in the year of a, like if you are born in a year of a rabbit and you are in the year of a rabbit, you're already kind of overall feeling, oh, I'm good this year, I'm safe. Then you can go a little bit more, deeper and say, well, but I'm born in an hour of X, Y, and Z. And then there is in a certain areas, there might be a conflict or clash. So to eliminate that clash, you extract, what is the best, the optimal for everybody. The days I post, that's what you saw on my very first, one of the first slides. It relates the days are good, optimal for most, like for 80% of the public. That it just is just a good day. And then, yeah, did I answer your question? It's based on the Feng Shui calendar and the sequence of how the days and times rotate and go around in astrology.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, but great question. That's a good question. So any comments? Nothing? Okay. I'm gonna stop the recording and then I will hang out for more for more private, I guess, private discussion. So once again, this is Ayalita Lito, Feng Shui. You can reach me at 408-768-9496. And the natal chart and astrology charts are available to sign up on my website, ayalitalito.com. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next month. So I want to address the thank you for all the support that has been applied to the Little Monks project, and also to Sanjay Dorja and my teacher Ming, who is born in his family in just a 1-year-old. We have been with as a community, we have continuously finished building the school. We have been supporting with food. We have been supporting the Bhutanese community to cultivate the arts and the Asian arts that they have, and it's just feels so rewarding. But also have to look at the practical aspect. And if you're coming across of any situation, like for example, my dad passed away in December, and making the offerings and praying when 500,000 prayers were performed by the Little Monks and by the Golden Temple as well in the Bhutanese, and offerings were made. There's no one person's capacity, in such a short time, just to kind of support the spiritual being to go to the light, or to transition to the light. And also the people who maybe go through sickness, or sometimes also going back to some past experience when they need the forgiveness, or it's been a great opportunity for people to make a donation or making offerings. So that is the website. The Little Monks Project is specifically as a tool, as a one way for your own sake of asking for prayers, sometimes powerful, to be supported at any circumstance. This past month, I also learned this has been a very tough winter for the Little Monks, and they finally kind of opened up, and they revealed the numbers, what they need to be sustained through the year, and that's almost like $60,000 off that. So I match 25% of all my consultations, or any things that goes to it just goes to support them. So I want to kind of create the awareness, and we have calculated if everybody would spend at least $5 a day, that would feed whole monastery, for the, like, if $5 a day for the year, if you donate that allows us to feed one month per year. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing what we do as a collectively, and I'm grateful. So I'm praying. If you come across with situations, if somebody passed recently, if you have if you want to do the blessings and stuff, you can do that through my website, through the Little Monks Project, and make offerings, submit the amount, whatever you feel to donate, and put a direct message. And then I send that information, they instantly perform the pray and send the evidence back. And there's been a miracle, beautiful way to cultivate the spiritual aspect. And this year, how we cultivate our spirit is going to be even more important. Just like Seafood Johnson would say, what is the perfect practice when they ask? The perfect practice is when you can't remember what was the last day you didn't practice. Right? So when you can't remember what was the last day you missed it, that's the way. So, well, any comments, any Feng Shui questions, anything that you might